I do not know if I shall ever set eyes upon home again. Cast adrift by a cosmic tempest, my ship, my only means of salvation, was torn asunder, her crew lost to the unfeeling void of space. Yet Providence, in its unfathomable mercy, granted me a slim chance at escape, a flicker of hope amidst the overwhelming despair. In that moment, I was naught but a desperate soul, propelled by the will to live. Aboard the stricken vessel, alarms screamed in every direction, their shrill cries a dark herald of what was to come. My senses were flooded with acrid smoke and flickering lights as I made my way to the drop pod. With 3 small lives clinging to mine for deliverance, I gathered what few supplies I could salvage and launched into the abyss. The pod, battered and broken, hurled itself into the unknown. A fiery descent followed, intense vertigo shaking my mind and body, until at last, all went dark. Was this death, or merely the flicker of a dream before the end? I know not. When I awoke, I was consumed with hunger and confusion, my limbs heavy from the violent descent. I found myself upon a strange and alien world, a land of marvels and monstrosities. What little I beheld was bleak, a cursed and poisoned country, scarred by ancient ruin and the long decay of forgotten ages. The very air hung thick with the rot of centuries, and all that once bloomed had long since been scoured by a force beyond reckoning. Far across the blasted plain, the earth shimmered with sickness, and the wastes stretched on like a graveyard without end. A far more dire threat loomed above, a harbinger cast from the deep void, a celestial stone of reckoning drawn toward this sundered world. Its doom was certain, its arrival a mere 44 quadrums away. I cannot say if this is the will of God or some cosmic whim, but the knowledge of it haunts my every thought. Time, precious time, was slipping from my grasp. The sky above was falling, and soon all beneath it would perish. I knew I could not remain where I was. The wreckage of the ship and its poisonous aftermath were not a place to linger. Already, hostile forces gathered near, lured by the blazing trail of my descent. A falling star cast from the heavens, ill-omened and bright with doom. And so, with my wits and the fates of my companions in mind, I began the journey. A journey into the unknown, one that would test the very limits of human endurance. I sought the mercy of a new land, a place to survive, to rebuild, and perhaps one day to escape the cursed fate that had befallen us all. They call it Wreccfel now, though no man rightly named it, nor ever meant to dwell there. A cursed hollow in a poisoned world where smoke chokes the air and the rivers run black with the blood of things that should not be. The beasts do not die here. They change, grow eyes where none should be, teeth where once there were none. A blasted basin, scorched and split, shrouded in a fog that eats the flesh and hemmed by thorns sharp as judgment. The very air scalds the lungs, and the sky hangs low, as though crushed beneath its own sorrow. I awoke in that blighted place with death in my lungs and ash in my mouth. Dazed, bruised, and wrapped in fire-born vertigo, I crawled from the wreck with 3 creatures spared by Providence, Scrimshaw, the loyal hound, and Thelma and Louise, quick-eyed cats of uncommon grace. They lived where so much else had died, and I took that as a sign. With naught but a battered pack and trembling hands, I turned my back on the wreck and began to flee.
There is like no time to hang around, really. The monsters come really quick. And he can consume that right before he goes, so we leave with a full belly, and then the second he's done that, we're just going to hit Caravan and leave and head for the border, because in this scenario, you have to go. Robinson Crusoe had a snack right there. And he's like, I don't like that food. Now, my friends, we are in danger. We must leave before the monsters come. So, like, it definitely, I've sort of shaped the stuff to be kind of like the book, but I also feel like the choice at the beginning could be more interesting, perhaps, you know, or at least it seems pretty straightforward to me what I should take. And I don't usually take like a min-match approach to this game. Oh wait, sorry, you gotta make a stockpile zone over your stuff so you can take it with you, so it kind of counts as you already have it, right? Okay, so now when we do the same caravan, all your stuff will be there. So in the book, he takes rum and he mixes it with tobacco. So we're gonna make sure to take that with us. That's gonna be part of the plan. And then we don't need so much kibble, I think. And the new place was good. It was totally good. It definitely was worth visiting. No, that's it. So that's like a full kit. Is there anything else from this you want? Well, we definitely want the musket balls. And we definitely want the silver. Or at least some of it we can take. We can't take all the silver. Oh, wait. I know what's going on here. It's this thing. We don't need that. Leave that. I'm going to go for stuff instead. And then we're still overweight. Let's just take 200 even. And then is there any more room? Is there room for more? Nope. Alright. Perfect. No, not even one more. And away we go. There's just not enough good food. That's all there is to it. And so Crusoe grabbed what few items he could carry and headed off into the wasteland.
Before nightfall, I set my course away, for even the stars above looked down in hunger, and I feared what might follow. If the Lord had not watched me in that hour, then let him never be named. Wreccfel is not a beginning. It is what you escape. Behind me, smoke, ruin, and monstrous shadows. Before me, wilderness unmade, and thus did our true trial begin. And so I did set forth from that cursed place. With Scrimshaw at my heel, and Thelma and Louise by my side, I had gathered what little I could bear. From Wreccfel we fled in haste, leaving behind wreckage, poisoned soil, and monstrous shadows that hunted our every step. My limbs burned with sickness, yet to remain was certain death. We walked beneath a sickly sky for days, ash falling like snow. The air stung the lungs, thick with rot and fire, and our food soured with time. The water I carried dwindled. I feared for the beasts more than myself, for they bore no fault in this wretched fate.
So the Manhunter pack is usually like something teeny weeny like raccoons or something. That's not gonna stop you, but the thing that's gonna take you down is there's two things. There's a skeleton group that arrives. It's quite difficult to deal with the starting gear that you have. I don't know what is. There's probably someone here who knows exactly what to do to build, but it's not an easy thing to deal with. And then the second thing is there's all the animals go nuts, and then an acidic shock sets in. So if you haven't moved any of the stuff out, it's gonna get degraded. So and it's in a wasteland, like you're gonna get sick. You just have like, you didn't have to pick a starting wasteland, but I've picked in the map settings I've been doing. There's a lot of wasteland on the map, right? And then there's a lot of poison forest. So you're actually like fairly limited in terms of like where you want to go next. Now what we want to do, we want to go here to this archipelago, which should be fairly defensible based on its location, And then we want to build a boat and we want to leave. And then this here is, I don't know why it reads like that. That's unfortunate. But it is 2 rim claws coming in. And these guys are quite serious. Dangerous rim claws. Search the wasteland for fresh meat.
At last, when hope seemed naught but a thread, I crested a ridge and beheld a vision near divine. Green boughs, palms tall and proud, waters blue as sapphire, and the sweet music of birdsong. A tropical archipelago stretched below like a promised land. Here, I swore, we would endure. I named this place St. Albion's Reach, for the lands of my youth, now distant as a dream. It was to be our sanctuary, a refuge from the horrors we had left behind. The land was bountiful, with fish aplenty in the waters, fruit heavy upon the trees. The sky was clear, unmarred by the dark clouds of our past. A paradise, it seemed, to be tamed. I set my mind to 3 labors: to build shelter, secure food, and craft a ship to one day sail forth from this world. The shelter, though simple, would be built with care upon the ruins of an old stone structure where silence now reigned. St. Albion's Reach, though a gift from Providence, would not be without trial. Yet for now, it was the haven I had longed for, a respite from the horrors of Wreccfel. We had found our new beginning.
This should be pretty much all it takes to get this going. And then we're going to get him into bed and get him resting and see if I can recover. Now, what is his status? Does he need food? He does not need food. He does need water, though. Last time I put the well right there. So we're going to do that again. Same setup. And I put my toilet. Right there. And a wooden stall door right in front of it. And that's like our starting base. And the next thing we're going to do is get into some growing over here, kind of out of the way, and then have some room to expand. And then we'll see how it goes. But I think we're on the right track. Sorry, temperature. Because it's getting hot. That was the other thing. So this passive cooler is a nice touch, I think you'll agree. No, you can't sleep. You can't sleep now. You have to build. Alright. I'm gonna get that going. 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 We'll see how he does. And so, on his second day, Crusoe had already arrived in the new location and was carving out his space. And that's actually great because in the other game, it took him like 5 days to get to the second spot, and he had to camp over like 3 or 4 times. But in that one, I built a backpack and took it with me so I could carry more stuff. That was the thing. And then I like barely escaped with their life. Like we were just sort of like running off the map with like insects coming at us. Like it's pretty wild. Now, if you make a different starting character, like if there's RimWorld of Magic running, if you had like fireballs, that would have made a huge difference versus those starting guys. But then you're still in the wasteland, so if you're not a wastelander, like you just have every incentive to leave. Because as you can see, this place is paradise. And look, there's a bunch of capybaras, which is my spirit animal over there, and then we've got some mandrills, which are quite delicious, and cassowaries, which are very dangerous, and then rhinos, which I think will be quite tricky to take out with a musket, but when you got one, you have an excellent opportunity. You get a whole bunch of food from it, and you get a whole bunch of like leather, which you can use to make other things. Is what I'm trying to say. So let's make this a medical bed. And does he stay in it? He's not injured. Okay, so forget that. Oh, he doesn't have wood. Alright, get that wood. Going thirsty sucks. You know how like sleeping makes you thirsty, right? Like you're sleeping and you have like a good sleep, and then you might wake up halfway through and you just like chug like a huge glass of water, or we go pee and then have a glass of water, and then you just like so refreshing, and you can just like tap right down for like another several hours. It's just a beautiful feeling. If you're looking for more rested nights, I'm just going to take a moment to plug the Good Sleepy Nights channel. He doesn't know me, I don't think. We have no relationship. But that guy, I have fallen asleep listening to that guy's voice like 100 times. Like, it is just digital volume. It is so good. And I was saying I was saying last night, but I didn't record it, that I will often play this game while listening to it late at night, and then like I set up like alarms so the game will stop, right? If something bad happens, like if a monster shows up, the game pauses, so you don't like, otherwise you just wake up and all your guys are dead, right? And so anyways, but it's just like I've fallen asleep doing that, and it's like the sounds of RIMWORLD are actually really soothing too, and I'll turn the music way down but still leave it in the background just slightly, and then, you know, chop chop chop, dig dig dig, and then the guy talking over top. Like, it is just such a peaceful way to fall asleep. The game runs really well on a Microsoft Surface, which is like a nice flat laptop if you have it in your bed. I don't know. I'm not saying you should play video games in bed, but if you do, that's a good way to go. Steam Deck is also a good way to go, but I've seen people playing, or seen of people playing RIMWORLD on it, but it's just, there's so much going on. I really feel like you need a bit more screen space to make that viable. And so, on his second day, Crusoe rested comfortably in his new bed, far away from the wasteland and the death claws and the skeletons and the insect monsters, insectoids. And Crusoe slept peacefully, his cats purring outside. Tomorrow, a new day full of adventure, set to begin.
I have set my shelter within the ruin, old stones, worn and weathered by the passage of time, yet strong enough to shield us from the elements. The ruin is not as grand as those of ancient days, but it shall suffice, and I thank Providence for the protection it offers. The walls are sturdy, and the roof, though humble, keeps the rain from our heads. I have begun to fell the trees. The wood is plentiful, though much of it is damp with the sea air. Yet with each axed stroke, I feel the land take root in my soul. Scrimshaw and the cats, Thelma and Louise, grow ever more contented with their new home. They roam freely now, no longer as wary as they once were. Yet, despite the bounty of this land, my body betrays me. The sickness I bore from Wreccfel lingers within me. My limbs ache, my breath comes short, and a foulness grows in my veins. I fear that the toxic air of the wasteland has left a mark upon me that I may never shed. Still, I press on. What other choice have I?
Welcome back to Happy Game Room Sagas. And today, we're dealing with Robinson Crusoe. No, it's Crusoe, not Caruso, right? Like David Caruso. So, we're just setting up here with the harvest fully grown. It's like the whole island, right? Like, we're taking everything. We're also going to want to deconstruct. So, I did this last time too. Deconstruct this. Deconstruct this. Deconstruct this. That we're going to keep. And then that is going to be the head, I think, of a new church. Usually churches are cross-based. Like they're the shape of a cross. I'm going to go for that. So building a chapel on this new island is one of my priorities, for sure. To be consistent with our character. Anyway, so that's our plan for having a stock room here. And then we're going to make a bunch of growing zones here. I don't usually play this way, but the internet is very big on... Oh, I forgot to have extra fishing zones. The internet is very big on suggesting the idea that you build like rice and corn. And they're like, the rice is faster and the corn is more... it lasts longer, but it takes longer to grow. Crusoe smartly getting to the water right away. That's what's necessary. And now you just sort of wind him up and let him go. This game just has a ton of personality. It really does. And I think a lot of people have fallen in love with it over the years. And it's grown so much. I'm a huge fan. I think it's so interesting. I was so reluctant to pick this game up. I'd seen it in the store a bunch of different times, in the Steam store, and been like the graphics were kind of underwhelming, but like the reviews are so overwhelmingly positive, right? And I do kind of like colony simulators. I'm a huge fan of Oxygen Not Included, which I'd also highly recommend, and is related to this game, I suppose, but very different. Anyways, so I finally took the plunge on it, and I was like instantly addicted, and I think I bought it with 1 DLC or 2. Definitely Royalty and not Anomaly and not Biotech. Those 2 I bought as soon as they came out, and I think I bought it when the second one came out in like a group thing. So it hardly ever goes on sale too, right? But like the reviews are so good. And so I eventually took the plunge on it, and I'm super happy I did. Like it went, I have like Civ and Rocket League were like my 2 biggest sort of time burger games, the ones where I'd had the most time in. And it was like, now RimWorld is my #1. Now I said to you before, like I like to sleep sometimes while I'm playing it. Like I'll run it in bed, so sometimes you end up leaving the game on. That's part of it. And the other part of it is that because it takes so long to load with all the mods, you have a lot of incentive to keep the game running. Like on my laptop, I often have it running in the background all the time, because when you tab away from it, it's pretty quiet in the background. Like, so it's like, you know what I mean? But it just takes forever to load. So or even to when I'm loading it, I'll play a whole different game for like, 10 minutes. You're just playing something else while it loads because it takes so long. So it's and I feel like that's it just needs some optimization, right? Like their computers are definitely good enough to run it faster, and you shouldn't need like a kick-ass gaming computer with like a high-end CPU to do it, because actually once the game's loaded, it's fine. But anyways, that's the multi-threading thing, right? Like that's always on the wish list of people. Multi-threading being where it uses like your CPU is broken up into cores, like that's what we talked about, 6 cores, 8 cores, and so they can operate simultaneously. So when it's multi-threading, it's using more than one at a time. So that's the bottleneck there. But the game's still great, and I have a huge amount of respect for the guy's name, who I'm forgetting here. Who's in the option? Tynan, yes. Tynan, you've done a great job with this. And I hope you absorb way more stuff from the mod world, because there's just so much great content. Like, obviously, like Vanilla and Alpha, and the hospitality mods, and like Casino, and those ones by Orion. And then, like, he just does the hospitality ones. The Alpha and the Vanilla are a bunch of people. And then, what's the other one that's really important? Combat Extended, of course. Right? Like, those 4, like, I basically, like, incorporate all those 4. That's my base level. And then I start adding stuff to make my scenario. But Combat Extended and Hospitality, especially, are just so fundamental to me. And then every time the game updates and those ones break, it's, like, a huge, sadness, but there's stuff they do but like there's a lot of little mods too, like the outposts and the camps, like that is something that should be in the main game. There's a ton of stuff in the mod store that should be in the main game. Anyways, Crusoe dined on fish without a table because he didn't have one yet. That's sad, but things are going along nicely, and he's carved out his little location here, and I think what we're gonna do is encourage him to... Oh, he's out of wood. Okay, so let's get some wood, huh? Harvest, 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 and then haul everything. And that should keep him going. Now, our animals are getting hungry, but we can just catch... I think we should not have too much trouble catching enough fish, but we are going to need crops. Now, I know that rice and corn are the thing to do in RimWorld, but my spidey sense is telling me that, or sorry, yeah, rice and corn. But my spidey sense is telling me that the Robinson Crusoe is more of an onions and potato guy. So that's what I'm gonna do there. Okay, so carrots, green beans, tobacco, onion, potato, and then we're going to make a sugarcane field. And that is going to be the extent of our crop growing for now. So I think that's the Pirate's Gold one we need to make the rum. So that's what we're going to do. And that one is for cooking. Alright, so we got this going. Robinson Crusoe taking a nap after his third day. That third day just blew by. Now we're all sleeping, but we're inside. And then you're like, wait a minute, a chinchilla? Golly, I know what my kid. Oh, not capable. All right, he's at 4, but he can at 5. So if he just trains this guy a little more, he can probably make friends with that chinchilla. And that guy is just, he is just super cute, and he's already sleeping inside. He might tame himself. So when he gets up, we're gonna deconstruct these things that are in our way. That's instantly gonna improve the room by increasing the amount of space. And then I need him to attack. Oh my god, in the last game, when the war merchant caravan came by, caravan. When the war merchant caravan came by, they came into the room and then they were just all throwing up. So like the whole room was just filled with vomit, and you're like, oh, thanks for stopping by. You stay classy, war merchants. And so things are going pretty well. We're only 3 days in, right? Yeah, sleeping on the 3rd day. Got this big, beautiful island with lots of animals. New ones coming in all the time. There's elephants and rhinos. So, like, if you can kill one of those, you're, like, so good. There's a snake, though. So there is danger. Is it a boa constrictor or a snake? Anaconda. Isn't that a big boa constrictor? 5 meters. I'm just looking at my room that I'm in right now recording and wondering what would it be like if there was a 5-meter snake. And it's like reptile genome, eh? I haven't gotten into the biotech stuff. I know I'm like, I have to have all the DLC, but I just like, I haven't used it that much yet, but it's not unintentional. I just like the options out there, you know? Is here. Sleeping boom rats. Like, this is just like easy. And we just have to figure out how to defend it, because that's the one thing. Now we're on an island, so we can defend off the island, so that's good, right? But we're also, there's no real like barriers, like we can be come at from all sides. We can be attacked from all sides too, and I only have the one guy to defend, right? So right off the bat, if we're attacked in like 2 directions at once, I rarely have the capacity to deal with that. I think I'm gonna go grab a quick snack, and I'll be right back. Totally dark. Oh, transport pod crash. Oh!
A transport pod fell from the heavens, carrying a man who bore the mark of savagery, one of the cannibal kind. I saw his plight, and, in the spirit of compassion, I ventured forth to save him.
Oh, it's right there. We did bring it. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so pick it up, Paul. Go. Okay, and then send over to stabilize. Oh, yes. Okay, so it is a race against time here. I didn't realize that they couldn't walk across the deep water, so that changes our defensive line. Now there's 2 sides. So there's like here, right where they're crossing now, and then there's up here, right, that they can go, and then here, that's the first one, and then over here. Right, so that's a 3 points. No, I didn't even look at this person to see if they were saving. I'm just, they definitely are, though. Yeah, we can make it work. What's his, oh, he's a cannibal. And a raider. Let's still save him and make friends. And you know what we can do is if he's still friendly, so we can just save him. If it wasn't friendly, what we could do is I could make a prison like right there and lock him up and then release him. And when you let the prisoners go, it makes you like them more. But like, let's be real. I mean, he's a cannibal, right? Is he a naked cannibal? Yes, that's the worst kind. I think you'll agree. I think you'll agree that is the worst kind. I'm already having second thoughts about saving this guy. I don't think I'm gonna.
But as I approached, doubts began to form in my mind. Would it be wise to bring such a man into my home? His ways were not ours, his appetites dark and primal. I wrestled with my conscience, and as I looked upon the wretch, I felt the weight of God's judgment upon him. Was it not written that those who devour the flesh of man, those who take to such abominations, are cursed? I muttered a prayer in the dark of my heart, asking the Lord for strength. Let not this befall me, for I would rather perish than be so consumed with desperation. In the end, I left him to his fate. He would have been a danger to my peace, to the safety of Scrimshaw and the cats. There could be no place for him here, not while such darkness clung to his soul.
So we decided to leave the cannibal. That was the decision. I don't know. Well, it's just that they're a cannibal, right? Like, but you could save them and make a friend, but they could just end up eating you. I think I'm just gonna leave them. I was all in on helping you until I found out you like to eat other people. And I'm like, that is not very nice, buddy. What's this? Well, smoke leaf, eh? I could take the edge off. So we'll grab some... Crusoe can grab some resources here. That'll be nice. Just seeing them, I'm like, these pets are wandering a little far off, so let's do this. Unit zone. And we'll go to expand home area, and we'll give them, like, they can have the island, right? They can hang out here, but I don't want them going too far. And I guess we'll figure out where to put our crafting spot. Is that good for now? I want them to make some weapons, for sure. Caravan animals wandering. Where are these guys? Oh, what's this thing? Can you tame it? Not enough food. Okay. You just gotta kill it then. Because that's gonna... We can eat it. Let's eat it. Alright, so does he have wham ammo? He has 3 balls. Where is he? Okay, so now we got a mission. We're gonna prioritize hauling some wood. And then we're gonna build those 2 things. And then we're gonna grab... What happened to this guy? Dehydration. Oh, right. Oh my god, everything's happening twice. Okay, so the thing I forgot is... Alright, can you just come back? We gotta save that guy too. Oh no, that's too much going on. Okay, so that's tons of wood. So what he needs to do is bring that back. Okay, and then he's gonna rescue Scrimshaw. And then he's gonna build that wall. And then we need wolves. There's a wooden dog bowl there. And we're going to put that here, I guess. It's a little crowded, but we're going to get that sorted. And then we also, I guess, need a food bowl, right? Isn't there a food bowl? Not seeing it. Maybe we haven't developed it yet, but we can definitely get the guys some water. So let's get that taken care of. Okay, so you can rescue that, and then you can build on that wooden wall. Manhunter pack. Fortunately not here. What is it? Some angry raccoons. Place your bets, people. Angry raccoons versus skeletons. And oh, they're mad. Look at all that rain, eh? It's a freaking beauty. Well, I guess they decided to get along. So that's fine. How's our stuff doing here? Like that heart attack? Still going? It's like, oh yeah, it's been out for days. Alright. So he needs to refill that bowl. He probably needs to build that. And he 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 needs to build that. Is that guy still there? Like, we don't have much time to get there. That guy's way out, but I need to... Oh, and get my metal balls. Uh-oh. Where are you going? No. 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 Go do that. Go do that. Go do that. Go do that. He's unhappy, and he's got a buildup of toxic goo in his system. This low mill drone. I got some rum here. Should I drink it, or should I kill the monster first? I think I should kill the monster. We need to close this off. Oh, and then the room. So many little things in this game. Like, you figured it over time, but it definitely takes time to learn, and it's not all intuitive. I don't know how the tutorial is. It's been so long since I did it. I don't really remember it. And I didn't spend a ton of time watching how to play in this game. I usually like to figure stuff out on my own. Like, I just find that's more fun. But this is definitely one game where I've looked at, like, Norbert. Norbert was super helpful. Heat stroke. Who's got heat stroke? I have heat stroke. Okay, you need to go to bed. But if he doesn't drink that rum, he's done for. There we go. Now go to bed. I'm just setting him in here. I'm not even going to make him clean. I'm just going to tell him to go clean. And then when he gets in here, he's going to cool down. Right? He's got the passive cooler. Already his moves improving. See? That's the power of rum. That's the power of rum. Delicious. The boys are getting stinko tonight. Things are going smooth. We're just running out here to build up this hoop ball. Now, building a hoop ball net in a rainstorm while drunk on rum isn't the easiest thing. Did I mention it's the middle of the night? Yeah, 11 p.m. Time to get to work. Man after my own heart. I don't know if you watch much of Alone, but there are definitely some indications that some of these shows are a little, sorry, that it's a little harder to make a fire in the rain than that might indicate. Definitely been watching a lot of Alone, and before I had a whole Survivor Man kick before. I did a whole Survivor Man playthrough on my own, like not as not recorded, just for fun, for the love of the game. Okay, so his recreation's up, that's good, but he's sleeping outside. That's bad. So what's going on here? That was made medical. That's why. Set owner, Crusoe. And I'm thinking we just want to send him back in here. Bedtime for Crusoe. The end of a long day. He's got his stock room built. You know, I'm just going to do this one little last thing. Simply because it'll keep all our stuff from deteriorating, right? I think it's worth it. Oh, it's going to throw up one last time. We're pushing him here. He's slipping a bit because he's getting tired, so he needs to go to sleep. He's hungry again too, right? That I can tell you from experience, you can only eat beef jerky so many times before it starts to break you down, right? He's fallen under 18. So why is he sad? The low psychic drone is killing us. He's tired, so he needs to sleep. He's got a hangover, that's going to go away. He's recreation deprived, we can deal with that. So 3 of these 4 we can deal with straight away. Now, I don't know why he thinks he ate raw food, because that's salted meat. I thought that's just food. I didn't think he had to process that. I thought he could just eat it like beef jerky. But perhaps not. Perhaps it's just long-lasting food that requires additional processing. That would be how it would work in you know, if you ever watched The Townsends on YouTube, there's another one. I'll put a link into that. And it's a show about a guy. I'm a big fan, and he lives in the eastern U.S. And he basically is like, you know, like you go to those like it's just like that Simpsons, or sorry, the South Park, where they go and it's like they're trapped in like 1885 or something, and they're like, there's no telephones in 1885, but then there's like a bank robber going on at the same time. Like, hilarious episode. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. Too funny. But anyways. So then this guy does his own one, and he's like living in like George Washington times, and so that's like the late 1700s. He does a bunch of cooking shows, and he does some stuff with salted meat in it, and sort of talks about like how they process it into something that the soldiers might actually find edible or palatable. Yeah, I was watching one where he was talking about the whole economy of it. And, like, you know, you'd have, like, salted pork or just salted meat where you weren't even quite sure what animal it was and that sort of thing. I think our food is better today. So Crusoe has completed his 5th day now. Or he's just starting his 5th day, I should say. And that we have really good progress, I think, on the whole, right? Especially having had to migrate and the sickness associated with that. And we have an indoor space, that's good. Well, we have a lot of these things not done. So, like, gardening is really good to get done. Because your food is, like, on the clock. Now, I think the climate here is summer all year round, so that shouldn't be as much of a problem. But it's still a really good idea, because it's like there's a clock on the food, right? So I've got these calories here. But if he wakes up and he's healthy at all, I'm hoping to wander out here and get that guy who's like, he's dying to leave. And I don't know what I can feed him. I bet I can feed him hops. So we're going to let him wake up and look after himself for a second, whatever he wants to do first, whatever he needs, right? And then we're going to cut a couple hops and then go try to tame that guy, if that'll work. And if not, kill him.